If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. This is a campground in southern Mississippi near Biloxi. It's in the National Forest, DeSoto National Forest. And this is a campground with 4 different camping spots. And so there's the road right there. Stop sign right at the road. And so if I turn around, you're gonna see my camper. So it's just right next to the road, this campground. It's a really nice campground. It's got running water. It's got a running water bathroom. And right there. That's what I want to talk about just for a minute. A lot of these national forests are along regularly traveled roads. Now, this road isn't all that busy. I mean, it gets a few cars. If I guessed, I would say on average, it gets about a car every 15 minutes or so. This is just the reality. I mean, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. There's a town probably 10 miles north, and then the closest town south is probably 40 miles. Now, when I say town, I would say the town probably has a population of 500-600 people. It's not a very big town. So my guess is those people who live in that town up north are traveling this road from Biloxi, maybe employment or something like that. And so this is just a shorter path for them. That's my guess. We are in the east, and this is a problem that we're going to have to deal with. And if you become a nomad, it's something that you're going to have to deal with when you live this lifestyle. You're not going to live this lifestyle all the time in the Arizona desert, especially in the summer. So let's talk about reality. And the reality is you're going to travel. That's what nomads do. As a matter of fact, I just looked up the definition of nomad, and it says wanderer, someone who wanders. What I have noticed in the last 2 years is it is not a good idea to stay in a campground for the 14 days, even though it says that you can't. When you are this close to a heavily traveled road. But what it is the cars you are seeing are the same cars every day. They drive back and forth. Now, for the most of the time, we have been inside the camper because it's been kind of chilly, in the 30s and 40s. So yesterday it was up, I think it got up to 67 degrees yesterday. And I'm sitting on the picnic table just soaking up the sun, enjoying the day. And a guy pulls into the campground and parks right in front of the picnic table. And I thought, uh-oh, here comes some trouble. I mean, as fast as he was driving and aggressively as he was driving, I really was like, okay, I need to, my radar went off. Really didn't need to, because he was a very nice guy. Older gentleman. And he tells me his name. Hi, my name's whatever his name was. And I introduced myself. He says, I saw your camper here the last few days. Now, we've only been here 5 days. And he's already noticed our camper in this campground. He says, I hadn't seen any movement around here lately, so I was starting to get worried about you, that you might have died in your camper. He says, so today I drove by to see if you were outside because it's a warmer day. He said, if I hadn't saw you outside today, I was going to call the police and have them come and check on you, make sure you're okay. Now, here's the problem that you're going to run into when you're living a nomadic lifestyle. City parks, national forests, people will start to take notice that you are there. And I'm not saying that they don't like having you there. It sure does pique their interest when you are there. I have noticed that if you don't stay there very long, bad things don't happen. But if you start to stay there very long, people start to question you. People start waving at you. People start really slowing down to watch you. When we were at Porter Lake, after the hunt season in Florida, we left after the hunt season and then came back for another 14 days. And by day 3, there was this truck, and every day at 11:30, in between 11:30 and 12 o'clock, he would come down, big noisy truck, turn around, drive back. Well, the first few days, he would wave, hi, and we waved back. Well, by day 6 or 7, he stopped waving, and he was just staring as he drove by. Just staring at us. Like we were doing something wrong. I think what happens is it starts to create attention, like you're a homeless person or that you're doing something wrong, and so they really are trying to investigate are you doing illegal activities in their area, their neighborhood? You know, like this guy. You know, he didn't see us, so he would just assume that we were dead. Another time was in Missouri, conservation area. Again, only been there a few days, and this red truck comes down. He waves, I wave, and I would say by day 4, it was, you know, like just a hand up. You know, by day 5, he's just lifting a finger off his steering wheel. By day 6, you got that stare again as he's driving by. Now, here's the thing about this conservation area, is it was not on the main road. I think the conservation area campground was 2 or 3 miles. Even being off the road for a ways does not keep them from coming down and checking you out, make sure you're not doing anything illegal. Because one of the things I think happened to us with the pop-up camper was we were there so long. You know, the pop-up camper burned down. And I think part of the problem is we were there so long, people got used to us. They were accustomed. And then this mentally ill guy, who probably had been driving around, you know, back and forth, determined that we must be working for the National Forest. Now, long story, but this mentally ill guy, they suspect who burned down our camper. They can't prove it. But he causes trouble to anybody who stays there too terribly long because he thinks that they work for the National Forest, and he hates the National Forest. Apparently, he hates the government. And so anytime he sees an opportunity to hurt the government, that's what he does. Well, he got used to our routine, and since he thought we worked for the government as a campsite host, he burned down our camper. So what I have began to do is I start bouncing around from campsite to campsite every week. And it really has kept this stalking behavior, for lack of a better term, down to a minimum. This guy who came down yesterday, you know, waves still, he's going to be very polite. So we'll leave tomorrow, which will be 7 days, and then he'll forget about us. And then in a couple of weeks, we could come back. So we could go down to another campground, stay there for a week, come back up here for a week, and we're not even coming close to touching on the 14-day stay limit. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.